Where did Trellis really begin? Honestly, I believe it began with Jesus' prayer in John 17:23, where he prayed that we would be one. But where it started taking root in Costa Mesa was in 1996, where a group of pastors began praying at Harbor Trinity Church. And there was some discussion on this idea of collaboration that was started, but it wasn't the right time yet. And I'm so grateful that those guys started that prayer group, because it really changed the trajectory of a lot of things that I saw going on. During those years when we prayed, 2001 through 2010, man, there was a lot of frustrating times for me where I didn't want to keep going and praying. I didn't want to keep showing up. But I knew God wanted me to, and I knew we needed to. So we kept going, we kept praying. So we did see God working in our city in different ways. So in November of 2010, after we'd been praying for all this time, God really was prompting our group to start moving beyond prayer and start organizing. So we decided we'd fast every Wednesday, and we'd start reading this book called To Transform the City. And as we did that, God started stirring. He started moving. So then at the end of 2011, we actually got a call from a city official asking us, what's going on with the churches and homelessness? It seems like they don't know what one another are doing, and it's really becoming a problem. So there was actually a gal who was part of our prayer group. Her name was Bex Hayho. She was chosen to start convening churches around this issue of homelessness. And then she was asked to represent the churches on the city's task force for homelessness. It was really amazing. The city and the churches really started even forming more of a relationship in that. On March 17th in 2011, in partnership with Micah Community Development Corporation, the prayer group convened for the first church gathering to cast a vision for church unity in the city. That same day, as a consequence to massive city layoffs, a city employee took his own life by jumping off the top of City Hall. The same city staff person who had called a couple months earlier to ask the church to stop helping homeless people, called that day to tell the prayer group what had happened and asked, do you think that the church can heal our city? On the following Monday, March 21st, 2011, from 12 to 1 p.m., there were around 300 people from various churches, including almost all the senior pastors, who formed a circle of prayer in the pouring rain around City Hall. In response to the inquiries that day from the media, we called ourselves One Church for Our City. As 2011 continued to roll out, we just saw God continuing to work. In April, we decided to bring in a consultant to help us figure out what it should look like. And a guy named Ward Nicholas came in and gave us some great input. In 2012, we continued to see more churches becoming part of this structure that we were starting to call Trellis. By the end of 2012, it was evident that we needed to get the senior pastors together again. So we had our first senior pastors breakfast in November. One of the really exciting things in 2012 was that we opened the check-in center for people who were experiencing homelessness. In fall of 2013, we became known as Trellis. On July 5th, we hosted the first One Church United service as part of the City of Costa Mesa's 60th anniversary celebration. 2014 was a year where we really established a bit more structure to everything. We actually conducted our first city study that we really were looking at the city's greater challenges. Cultural integration is a very big piece, and we were looking at data on education and homelessness. In 2015, with the advice of our board, there was a huge need for more focused leadership. So I felt the call of God to actually leave my role at the Crossing Church as a pastor and give full-time focus to developing Trellis. So in September of 2015, I took that step of faith, and then we've just continued to get more and more focus. It was a big step for Trellis, now becoming a charitable corporation and really developing its focus and direction.